got up really early to watch the UFC.
I know.
What's all that about, man?
Well, I talked about this last week, but I'm not a massive fan of it. But do you know something? This Conor McGregor got inside my head. Everybody were tweeting about it most of the day. Everybody couldn't wait to see him fight. And got up at 3:30 for the middle-aged toilet stop, which... Do you know where I'm coming from, don't you? It tends to strike at between 3:30 and 5. And I've obviously got my Romanian rescue dog. Took him outside, let him have a wee, and then I thought, I'm not going to go back to bed. I put it on. And so I sat downstairs, got a cup of tea, 3:30, and I watched it all from start to finish. About 6 fights, I think it was, and I watched them all.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes. And it's the first, I actually did enjoy it.
Okay, so...
And the ladies fighting, I enjoyed that as much as the men fighting. They were skillful.
Let me, I've caught a bit of this. I didn't watch it live. I've caught a bit since. With the McGregor fight, I think there was blood on his face, and then he got choked, and that's how he lost. Correct me if I'm wrong here. With the ladies fight, Tate and Holm, I couldn't believe what I saw when I watched the highlights of that. Holm choked her opponent into submission.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't nice to watch.
She was unconscious.
Yeah.
And we just hold on. We're saying that this is a sport. I mean, we sort of mentioned UFC a couple of weeks ago, and people were coming on saying, "Oh, it's the safest sport. The rules make it safe." She's choked her until she's unconscious, and that's how she's won.
She didn't want to lose. Yeah, she didn't want to lose. So
what the hell's going on?
Well, McGregor was a very similar thing. He tapped out, so he tapped, and the referee comes straight in. He's right down there, and he comes in and took his hand off before he passed out.
Yeah. But she's passed out before she's tapped.
Yeah, it's like it's like watching a film.
That can't be right.
But she wasn't going to tap. She was never going to give in.
Hang on, just
if you
rewind
watch
a second,
her again, she went delirious. She started punching.
Yeah.
Because
silly punches,
she was, she just thought she was fighting. She didn't know where she was, and then she just passed out.
Yeah, and you enjoyed this?
I didn't.
What kind of sicko are you? No, I'm serious. What kind of sick man are you that would enjoy watching a woman choke another woman until she's unconscious? What the hell's going on in your head there, mate? Come on.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that moment. I'll be totally honest about it. And I didn't also enjoy the moment at the end when Diaz beat McGregor. And he comes in with the interviewer, and whoever's interviewing him, he's probably some famous MMA past fighter. Whoever came in and interviewed them, I'm sorry, mate, he needs to get a few lessons.
Didn't see that. What happened there?
Well, he's just terrible at interviewing, full stop. I mean, so he goes in, and Diaz's first words, there's a new beat champion in town or whatever. It wasn't even a championship fight. It was Conor McGregor being arrogant, going into it. He went up 2 weight groups. The amazing thing is Diaz couldn't get down to the 155 limit they were going to have. So McGregor, being the arrogant man he is, a great fighter, I enjoyed watching him, by the way, and I would watch him again, said, oh no, we'll fight at 170, because he only had 2 weeks' notice, Diaz. He didn't have a camp even. He had 2 weeks' notice to make the fight. So he said, oh, no, we'll fight you at 170. And if you consider that he normally fights at 140, I think, Conor McGregor, it might even be less. It was a big, big ask. And the first round, he was miles too quick for this Diaz bloke, and he bad cut Diaz's eye, and it looked like he was going to knock him out, and I was thinking, wow, this is all the hype about this guy. I actually loved watching him. And second round, this Diaz caught him once on the chin, and that was good night, Charlie, because he eventually got him on the floor and choked him, and he just tapped out. Oh, thank you, that's $10 million I got for this fight. Diaz got about 50 grand, and McGregor got about $10 million US. Not bad, is it?
It's a weird one for me. I mean, I'm a lover, not a fighter. So I'm not sure. I'm in favourable.
I'd watch it again though. Now
I can't. What is it about it that you like though? Just raw violence.
I don't think it is. I think there's a lot of skill involved as well. This is coming from someone I'm not an expert on it, by the way. I love boxing. I mean, I've always been a boxing fan for a long time, but when it comes down to this, there's a lot of boxing skills in it, and McGregor's obviously got a lot of boxing skills, got an unbelievable left hand, so quick. But also, the tactical fight, especially in the ladies' fight, Melissa Tate and Holly Holm. Holly Holm, right, she beat that Russe, whatever her name is, who's apparently... Yeah. Was the best, and then she got kicked. I remember seeing that way, Rousey. She got kicked and knocked her out. And now there's going to be a rematch between them two. But she's lost now, so she might have to wait. because now this Melissa Tate, tactically, and her experience, her wrestling skills and her experience, because she's had more fights than Holly, she just got her on the floor in the second round and held her down there for about 3.5 minutes, and the bell saved her. And then Holly was a better fighter in the whole fight, but then in the 5th round, Melissa got her on the ground this time, and then did the neck choke, and then she fell unconscious, and she won the fight. So really, there's different types, you know where I'm coming from?
Yep.
So Holly's a great kicker, great boxer, but she came up against Melissa, who wanted to get her onto the floor and show her wrestling skills in defeating her and their experience. So there's lots of different skills in the old.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt it's very skillful. I get that.
And the bravery
totally, yeah.
is unbelievable.
But what I'm saying is, when you have a sport where it's okay to choke somebody until they're unconscious, that to me stops being a sport. But that is boxing, just raw violence.
Well, what's the difference? Boxing, you punch someone till they can go unconscious.
Well, I've said many times on this show that if boxing was invented now, they wouldn't allow it. You know, and I think it's just one of those things where it's happened for so long that it's very difficult to change the rules of boxing. But to bring in MMA, UFC, and to have a situation where somebody loses because they're choked till they're unconscious, I can't see that as a right way to go.
I didn't enjoy that, and I don't agree with the chokehold. That probably that should probably. It's more of a wrestling. It is a wrestling move, isn't it?
I mean, you're going to see.
And we know wrestling sometimes is not 100% real. I mean, if we're going to be honest.
No, absolutely, but
I don't think chokehold should be a move. I really
do you
don't.
not think? I mean, I'm watching that, and it's readily available to see on all sorts of websites that chokehold that led her to fall unconscious.
It's not nice.
I mean, that's going to be copied. There's no doubt about that.
There's loads to it. Yeah, there's
absolutely.
Loads to it.
Yeah, but in a less safe environment, that's going to be copied.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right that happens, but for it to be copied in a less safe environment, just for me. Surely that isn't right. But you enjoyed it. Listen, you got up to watch a UFC 3:30 in the morning.
You must watch Jack Bauer. What's that program called?
Never watched it. What, The Wire?
No, 24. He does that all the time. That's his signature move.
Yeah, that's not real.
Around, choose your own ground.